Everybody wants to have a Russian-speaking post-Soviet Union coach here, but not everybody ready to do what it takes. He was strict. I took his last name. My family was not able to support me. All those phrases mean no. I guess I lost it. Constantly reminded that you are nobody and your name is nothing in the United States, and you have to build. And I'm going into a different route now, like talking about my pains. My personal story, the way I started to do the dance, the ballroom dance, started back in Russia in Vladivostok. My grandmother brought me to the dance school, and I had a, what you call here, unfit family. So that was pretty much a place of escape. And I started when I was 5 years old. But the studio was nice. I mean, we had a great coach, but the only issue was that he mainly had adults dancing at his studio. Adults meaning kids started at 17 and I was only 5. So he took me in, he found me a dance partner somewhere, and that's how we started to dance and pursue our careers. I danced with the same dance partner for 20 years. My coach's name was Alexander Vladimirovich Volgin. He adopted me eventually. I took his last name when I got older. He didn't adopt me officially, but let's put it this way, I spent a lot of time with his family due to the fact that my family was not able to support me. You see, back in USSR, the coach, the profession as a coach of any sport was not just a teacher. It was more of a brother-father figure, and we had in the studio we had like such a brotherhood that you call here probably like sorority or something like that. For us, being a coach is a lot more than just a trainer who trains your child. For us, the job of a coach was, and I think it's more of a Soviet Union style probably, is when you take a child, the parent brought you a child, and trust you completely with the child. In my case, it was more of a, here's the child, here's Katrina, take her. We really don't, you know, they care, but they couldn't take care of me. So you pretty much can do whatever you want. And my coach took me and taught me for many years, meaning I was not able to say yes or no. I never question, I never doubt. In fact, I have a fitness coach right now, and I don't ever doubt a coach, because for me, the coach is a lot more than just a trainer. The input was huge. His input into our lives. I don't know, in the summertime we would go and have like summer camps with other sports, boxing, swimming, gymnastics, and it always works. So my kids, like actually yesterday we went to the pool to do a swimming session, play soccer with them. They do art. So because I want my kids not to just do dance all the time, but also do other activities and be engaged and involved. The other thing is the big difference. The parent is a coach's comrade. So basically, coach and the parent work on the same idea of raising a child. With saying that, if this is your child that you brought to the studio to train, the coach and the parent raising them together, meaning the parent is a comrade of the coach. Maybe comrade is not the exact word, but they are in alliance of working together, okay? Over here, a parent is a client and a coach is a coach. For example, kids have other activities and we have dance. My child cannot come to the practice today because of ABC. Over there, it doesn't exist. ABC do not exist. At a certain point, you have to decide what is important for you and what are the priorities. So in the United States, a lot of times kids do music and tennis and swimming and math and then dance. and they want to spend as much time, equal time for all 5 activities, but they still want to have results. So a lot of times when our couples go on, let's say, to the world championships, I ask the parents, oh, if they have an art class, are they going to the world championship for art? No? Okay, so I am priority. Meaning here I have to constantly prove my point. It's like on the go all the time. I have to prove my point, and I have to talk to parents every week about, guys, we have to train, you have to train. That's the difference. And what made my coach so good and so great is that he didn't really have an obstacles like that. He put his heart and soul into us, and there were no obstacles such as, oh, we cannot come for practice today, because it just didn't exist. So it goes through generations. I am not sure how the things are going now back home, but what I see and the coaches that I talk to, they face the same problem that we face here. But over here, the client versus partner it's a huge gap, and it's a huge difference in between. So I came to the studio, I saw my coach talking to somebody, and I looked at him and I understood, I realized, it kind of like God talking, it came to me that I'm going to be a better coach than him in a good in a good way. Not that he was bad and I decided to be better. It was he was the top, amazing. He was my all, and I decided that I'm gonna aim higher. I don't know why. At 7, I decided to do that. So at 5, I met him. At 7, I remember the day. I remember the studio. I remember the sunset. I remember the smell of the studio. I remember how he looked, what he was wearing. I remember all of it. And it was like the moment when I just knew, it was not decision like I'm going to do that. I just knew that I'm going to become a coach. So I worked really, really hard, not for the result on the floor, but I worked really hard to become a coach, because I asked him, what do I need to do to become a coach? And he said, well, you have to dance, you have to train, you have to listen, you have to blah, blah, blah. And so I did all of that faithfully. And at 14, I was given an opportunity to become an assistant of a coach. And so I was assistant of a coach for 2 years. And at 16, I started to take the groups and work with them. And then I graduated high school, went to a physical training university, and then I continued my career from that point on. I never had another option to do anything else. I didn't want to. I just knew I'm going to be it. My choice was pretty simple and easy. I just knew I'm going to be an awesome coach. And I don't know if I did better or not, but I definitely, when I came to United States, of course, there were no options and questions of what I'm going to do. I'm going to teach kids how to dance. But what I did right is that I got all kinds of judging certifications, and there is no higher certificate that exists that I did not get. So as for today, I am a lot more certified than him, but it doesn't mean that I'm better, but at least I did something that if he sees me right now, he would be proud. I know that he would be proud. He'll be like, you did it. Yes, so I didn't have any doubts or options or like who to become, what profession to take. I was not infantile, is that the word? At 7. At 7, I knew exactly what I want to do. So that was the choice was easy. But when I came to United States, I was not able to work as a coach with kids for a while because I had to figure out the system on my own. Unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, I didn't have a person to help me and to explain to me how the system here works, because it's totally different. I do remember that I applied for a job with kids at CYS, something, Child and Youth Services. And I brought my resume that was like this thick. And they told me that I am overqualified. I had never heard the word overqualified. I didn't know what is, or what is, like, I thought it's a joke, overqualified. I understood later what I mean, but I also learned from Americans that when they say, I don't know, maybe, we will call you back, let's talk about it later, we will reach you, all those phrases mean no. So I didn't know that. So the lady keep telling me, we will call you back. I will come back 1 week later. Like, you guys didn't call me. She said, yeah, we will call you back. We will let you know. And I, for 6 months, I was coming and knocking onto the same door to get a job with kids. And she simply couldn't tell me, like, we're not gonna give you a job. Get the hell out, and don't come back. Or like, my answer is no. She couldn't tell me no. So I kind of learned that long and hard way of the American mentality, how they tell you nicely with a smile on the face, get the hell out. Because back home, they will tell you, we do not want you, we're not gonna give you a job because of A, B, C. And so then you have an opportunity to go back and fix it, A and B and C, and then come back and reapply. Over here, it was so confusing. Everything was just very much confusing. But I learned my mistakes, and from my mistakes, I learned eventually the personality. I eventually learned a lot of things here. So I'm very thankful for this experience. And it all ended when I came one time to the same door and knock on it, and they didn't want to let me in. And then I kind of got really upset because the lady started to hide from me under the desk, and I saw her. And that made me very angry. And I told her every single word in English, the bad word that I knew. So basically, I cursed her out with my broken English and the way I could do it. And amazingly enough, at this very moment, her boss was walking down the hallway, and he ran to me and he said, "What's going on?" I said, "This lady for 6 months, she's telling me she'll call me back, but she never did. And it's been 6 months, and now she's hiding under the desk. And what type of, show me some respect. This is not nice. This is la la la." So I guess I lost it. And he says, "Let me do something. Let me figure it out." So he made some phone calls. And he told me, "Look, we can give you a space and we can give you a place to work, but you can only work with adults. Because right now you don't have a passport, you don't have a citizenship, so we cannot let you work with kids, but we can let you work with adults." And that was an amazing opportunity for me to grow. So I made a flyers on the computer, actually by myself. That was the only time when I did a flyer, and it took for me, I don't know how many days or hours. I was crying and put the flyer together. It was like really hard for me, and until today it's hard for me. I hate to do that. So I made a flyer, and I went to that place and to certain places and give the flyers away and ask people to help me, people that I already knew. I did all this job, and for the very first class I had, 2 people came, 2 women for ballroom class, 2 women. So I decided to have a class with them. For the next class, they brought more friends, and eventually I ended up with 100 plus actually women taking a ballroom class with them. So I decided to do like a fusion for them, and it was I made a workout out of it. And eventually the nearby gym knew about it, and they asked me to come and teach the class at the gym. But you have to have a certain certification. I'm like, I have a physical training university behind, and they say, well, it doesn't count in the United States, not for the gym. You have to have a special certification for the gym. What is the fastest way to get a certification to get a job in the gym? It's a Zumba class. So you have to go certified to become a Zumba instructor. I was like, me, all my ideas of being a coach and a ballroom instructor and like all the ideas of this high quality, high-end sport broke into pieces, but not in one day, but slowly. I was constantly reminded that you are nobody and your name is nothing in the United States, and you have to build everything from the floor, from the ground. So they sent me to get, not they sent me, they told me, like, if you want, you can get a Zumba certification and we will let you in. But you have to come back with the actual certificate. Everything else that you have, all your achievements, nobody cares about it. I was like, oh, okay. So I went to, I remember, Tallahassee, Florida. I drove there for like 5 hours. I came there. I left the house at like 4 a.m. I was there by 9, ready to do the instruction, to take instructions. And it was a long, all day long day of training. And we started to dance. And I was the only one who could actually move there. Because at that point, I guess it was a very popular thing to do. And the instructor told me that, he says, Katrina, you know, it is not about how you can dance. It is about how they can dance. I'm like, who? They say, the students. But meanwhile, I have a full class of women who came to see me so they can learn to dance how I dance. So that was another very confusing thing. And he says, sometimes you don't have to show all your skills. You can kind of calm it down so they can follow you and everything. And I'm like, oh, you know what? You're right. I'm here for certification, so no worries. I'm going to do it your way. So this is when I learned that when you come to the different country, to the different class, to the different society, and you teach them how to cook their meal, it is the bad idea. Really bad idea. So you come to the kitchen where they're supposed to teach you, even though you think you know better, you have to follow their rules, their directions, and do what they tell you because you came to them. So that was another kind of like slap in the face. But anyways, I passed the certification, came back next day. I was like extremely exhausted, but the first thing in the morning I showed up at the gym with that thing. And that is when it all really started. So at the gym, they gave me all the classes that I wanted, all the times, just pick the time, do it. And so then I started to do that. Then more people knew about me. And then I told people that, my actual profession, I work with kids. I teach them ballroom. And I started a really small class of kids. And I taught them ballroom. Eventually, I took the children to the competition in the United States. They won there, and then I got accepted to American Society. After, I want to say after about 2-3 years being here, maybe more. But that was a long way. I had to learn a lot of things. The idea in general of a ballroom dancing, I want to say that I don't want to say that we conquered, but we definitely did a huge impact on ballroom dance culture here in our region. We developed results and a huge team. A lot of kids went through us and came out successful and happy. And smart and able to dance and move. So I do want to say that we created what we call culture, the dance culture here in Atlanta, Georgia. That's for sure. Every child here is a story of a small wins. And in the name of that little story of the small and big wins in the future, this is why we all started it here. And it makes us very satisfied. So that's my short story. I can assure you that I show the parents how kids can become stronger, smarter, how they learn to work within a team, and how they are getting more successful, a lot more successful in life and society, for sure. We will film another podcast about that, actually. It's a good idea. My name is Katrina Volgina. I am the owner of the best studio in United States of America, Volga Dance Academy. Subscribe, follow, and let us know what you want to hear.